Welcome to Season 3, Episode 9, Commitment. Who was this directed by?
It was directed by Veronica, Franz, and Severin, Fiala. They're Austrian.
Are they the married couple that did the other
They're
one?
not married. No, they're not
Different?
married.
Oh,
No,
okay,
different.
okay,
They are a
okay.
duo, but they're not married.
Well, this is Observant, by the way, our cool little name we have for our podcast thingy, vlogcast. I don't know what you want to call it. Anyway.
I don't know.
Well, what have they done then?
They did a psychological horror film called Good Night, Mommy.
I haven't seen it.
Good Night, Mommy.
Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it.
We'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Well, it was written by, if I could remember, because you always do this, but Laura Marks? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then the other guy who did Antlers.
C. Henry Chaisson.
That's it.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I couldn't remember.
And she was the writer for episode 4 of this season, Ring, where
cool.
Sylvia's finger was cut off.
Ew,
I think we called her Sophia in another video.
Sophia?
I think we
Did we?
yeah.
And it was Sylvia.
It was Sylvia.
Who cares what it was? Nobody liked her anyway.
She did work on The Exorcist, Ray Donovan, and was published by DC Comics under their Hill House Comics horror imprint.
Oh.
Which I maybe would explain.
Yeah, why she was picked, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how'd you feel about this episode?
You know what? I think this episode is probably the most predictable episode. We obviously predicted this, and you all know in the servant community, we've been out there talking about it. A lot of people predicted this and agreed, that this is what's going to happen in this episode.
Yeah.
It did feel so good to be right. But I got to say, Frank's my new favorite.
No doubt.
I didn't expect that.
We'll get into why Frank's the new favorite later.
Yes.
What did you think of that first opening scene with Dorothy? That was a really cool shot through the bathroom window.
Cinematography-wise, that was great.
It was.
And you had to think, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? And it was obviously through the bathroom window, the one where Julian OD'd in, that bathroom, right off the dining room. And Dorothy was in there, and she seemed, not quite right. She seemed a little distressed. But this episode, started out directly after the last episode that we were watching. And the whole group is watching the news report, and Isabel got shot and all that stuff. And they're still, in the living room. Dorothy obviously excused herself at some point to the bathroom.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you hear them saying in the background that, Isabel Carrick died at the age of 28. Young. So young. Yeah. Well, probably felt longer under Dorothy's yoke from what we heard, She seemed brutal. Yeah.
And we do learn that Dorothy suspects Leanne had something to do with it.
Yeah, I got that impression too. Pretty sure Dorothy deep down knows that Leanne had something to do with it. She even mentioned to Leanne that she thought, why did you look pleased? But then she's
I think she's playing dumb.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right about that time, Courtney with a K and Dad and Frank leave.
Yeah. Did you notice that Courtney with a K seemed pissed?
I didn't
she seemed
at
pissed
first.
at Dorothy.
I didn't at first, but when I went back and rewatched it, I saw what you meant by the way she looked at Dorothy.
She looked at her and she cut her off halfway through her little apology and just shut the door in her face.
Before she went to the car. Did you guys notice that? We're not sure maybe if Frank said something to Courtney about them wanting to commit Leanne, or why
that
Courtney
Dorothy's
had the
acting
attitude.
different? Yeah.
What did you make of the scene where Leanne covers the camera?
Well, first of all, I think that was just adding on to what we've been saying, with the milk thing is Leanne controls Julian. He cannot say no. She just orders him, take your pants off, sit down, it's on, And then, you know what? One thing that really kind of freaked me out, though, in the scene, because, that's kind of I get it. You know, they're doing that. He can't say no. He even alludes later on that he can't say no. Mm-hmm. But she's doing her cult member thing. You know, you're mine. Yeah. I own you type thing. But the towel falls off the camera. And we see Dorothy just watching her brother have sex with Leanne. Like, she doesn't look away. Ew. I would turn the camera off.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh,
yeah.
I'll talk about it later. You know?
I think that just highlights Dorothy's mental state.
Yeah, that's very abnormal.
That
right?
she's in. Yeah, but I was like, oh, sicky now. My goodness.
Yeah.
And you had me cracking up telling what you said.
Oh, my gosh. Well, so she asked for them drugs. Where's your drugs? He's like, nah, I threw them out because, you know, I can't act right around them. And if she can't have one drug, she's going to get the other. So she went from some weed to Ron Weasley's Patronus.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Sean is making, it's called biltong. And caviar, which is like a dried Wagyu beef.
It doesn't necessarily have to be Wagyu, but
they do. You looked it up, right?
Yeah, it's like a high-end beef jerky type thing. You know, it seems like an odd pairing, especially for breakfast.
Yeah. Dorothy's eating her own version of protein. A mouthful of termites or maggots.
Yeah, it's either termites or maggots.
Yeah, I don't know if maggots get that big.
What do you guys think it was?
Do you think it was termites or
Yeah, because termites may be a little smaller than that. I don't know. We saw termites in the last episode.
Yeah, a couple of times they've shown termites.
Yeah, but these might have been maggots in cornflakes or whatever. Yeah. You know, but I think she got what she deserved. How dare she do that?
Reminded me of something in Amazing Race where they have to eat bugs or something.
I think yeah. That's funny.
But termites, if it was termites, they're a sign that the people around you, you're disagreeing with their thoughts.
That would make sense. Where'd you get that?
I looked it up on
different things.
Wikipedia. I don't know.
Wikipedia. We see Dorothy again in Leanne's room, gathering more evidence. You know, taking pictures of all the stuff now.
I noticed there is some new drawings in Leanne's book that they didn't show before. There was a couple. Yeah, there was one of Leanne in her room. And then there was one of her whipping herself. Yeah. And like blood. Was that real blood on the page, I wonder? Because it was red.
Oh, that's right.
It was the color red.
Who knows? But I mean, that kind of goes with Dorothy's whole theme of trying to, show that Leanne's doing self-harm. And,
right.
You know, that's really the only way to get somebody committed. It actually is very difficult. You have to show that they're a danger to themselves, especially, and then other people as well. But, you know.
Will be easy to show with Dorothy. She's definitely a danger to herself and to others.
She is.
I'll show you here.
Yes.
I've made a decision. Answer me!
Jesus.
Where is he? Where is he? You took him away from me.
At this point, we see there's a dollhouse, you guys. My favorite part of the show. I was screaming. I was like, yes. I don't know if you guys... Now, okay, go ahead.
Why Sonia was so happy about this. Sonia loves miniatures, and she's built a bunch of stuff. And we didn't want to say anything for a while, but we're working on a servant miniature whole thing. We've built the house.
The brownstone.
We recreated
the brownstone.
We created the brownstone.
Yeah.
So it's we're not exactly done, but we're getting there. It was really hard.
Yeah, I thought, it's really hard building a dollhouse. It's like building a real house.
You know, putting the furniture in it and buying all that stuff. We created the whole outside. We even modified the windows and stuff to make it look like
the exterior.
So anyway,
of the Turner's house.
When we're done, we'll show you.
Yes. We'll but I was laughing because one of the miniatures that I had is the
The chair.
The chair
That the doctor was sitting on,
that the
right?
doctor was sitting on.
Yes.
So check it out, you guys. It's an Eames chair. I don't know if you can see it, maybe by my face.
It looks expensive. Look at that. That's the exact chair.
But that's the
check it out.
exact chair he was sitting on.
Yeah, when he was talking to Dorothy.
So yeah, but I've also made like little miniatures of the artwork in the house. I've got so
Yes.
much. I'm gonna start putting up some videos of the dollhouse. But I was just so excited.
Well, let me ask you guys, is this
see
the
it.
first time we've seen the dollhouse? Because we were like,
Yeah,
we would have noticed
I would have
this, right?
noticed that dollhouse before.
She would have noticed it for sure.
I would have noticed it. And then she put that baby, Dorothy put that baby transmitter in the dollhouse.
Yeah, to spy on Leanne.
Yeah,
you
we
know.
haven't seen, we really haven't seen that transmitter since season 1.
Yeah, well, she's monitoring her,
Right.
kind of like bugging her room, like a
Exactly.
FBI or
Exactly.
CIA type thing. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, so right about now, is this when Dorothy confronts Leanne about the scars on her back? She's like, where did you get those?
Yeah, she's digging up dirt on her. Basically, she's lying to her, acting like, hey, let me get some pictures of my girl, which was just manipulative as
My
heck.
girl.
And she's actually like positioning her by the mirror to where she can get pictures of her scars on her back. That way she can show
Right.
that she's mutilating herself. Self-harm,
Trixie Hobbit, Dorothy. I thought it was interesting, and it was kind of a callback to last season, 2 a.m. when Dorothy wakes up. She's waking up at 2 a.m. again. Remember when she was waking
calling
up?
her dad at 2
Yeah,
a.m.?
yeah, she was calling her dad at 2 a.m. Remember last season, 2 a.m. she woke up. So
But we don't know what happened in the room with Leanne
yeah,
and the
because they
doctor.
went in separately, and they didn't show what Leanne talked to
Did Leanne influence the
counselor
doctor?
about.
Did she have some
Perhaps.
control over him? Something that we're not
Perhaps.
seeing? I mean, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. But Leanne does eventually agree to counseling if they can do it together, because that's what Leanne wants. Leanne wants a family.
Yeah, together.
So she wants to do it together.
For better or worse.
Yeah. And then the doctor, we didn't say the doctor's name, it was Dr. McKenzie.
Why do psychologists always look like that in these movies? They always look like an old hippie. He's got no
I
hair
loved
here.
his
He's got a
little man
ponytail
bun.
in the
Yeah, his
back.
little ponytail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then Julian, we see Julian come in, and he's trying to talk to Dorothy, trying to do he's telling Dorothy, just make peace with Leanne.
Yeah. Yeah. And he calls, once he finds out that psychologist is there, or psychiatrist, which he obviously has history with. Maybe it's somebody who committed him before or sent him to rehab or something. But he immediately calls Sean, tells him, get home, it's raining S.
That was one of your favorite lines, right?
Yeah, it was. It reminded me of the Weather Girl song.
It's
Hallelujah,
raining men.
S.
Hallelujah. It's raining men. Forgive my voice. The scene that stood out to me was, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, when Julian was trying to convince Dorothy to play nice with Leanne, like we said earlier, there was a painting behind them on the wall.
New painting. This
Yeah.
episode.
And I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the plot line, but I think you all will find this interesting.
Oh.
I think when I read it to
hear
you,
it.
you did.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was cool.
So the name of the painting is Vision.
So it was like a girl with a lamb, right?
Right. And the lamb was like looking up at her.
Okay.
And
It was called Vision.
Vision of Saint Genevieve
Genevieve.
by Alfonso Osbert in 1892. And it's an example of Rosicrucian art.
Yeah, which is interesting because the Rosicrucians, that was like a movement professing esoteric and occult wisdom with an emphasis on mysticism and spiritual enlightenment, which
Servant.
which
is servant.
That can't be an accident.
Right. The other thing I found is that the Rosicrucians have a connection with Pennsylvania.
Oh,
So
okay.
there are some mysterious pyramids there, and by the side, so here's what I found. By the side of a small side road between Quakertown and Dublin in Bucks County, which Dorothy had mentioned Bucks County with the barbecue. Remember?
Right.
Stands a memorial garden that's no longer open to the public. It used to be a place of quiet reflection and peaceful meditation, but the group that ran it closed it down and then painted no trespassing signs all around it. So much of the garden is now hidden behind like overgrown shrubs, but poking through the undergrowth are 2 large pyramids.
And this is real stuff.
This is real
in the show.
This is real today. You could look through the shrubs.
Wow.
And the mystery goes back, like, I guess hundreds of years. The land is owned by a Christian mystical sect called the Fraternitas Rosea Crucis, which literally translates as the Brotherhood of the Rose, better known as the Rosicrucians. And they have been a secretive but major presence in Pennsylvania since before the Revolutionary War.
Wow. That's pretty deep. I wonder if that has anything to do with it, or if it was just like a harken back to some of the history of the area, you know?
I wonder. Wow. I wonder. I guess, the people said before, even now they say if you go by there, you can hear chants and you can catch a glimpse of people in robes.
That's creepy.
But apart from that, the place is really veiled in mystery. So, another detail I noticed was when Dorothy was with the doctor, her legs were shaking.
So that kind of is like when Leanne's leg was shaking when she was upset at the dinner table.
Yeah.
That one time. Yeah. But more so. You know, it was definitely, she didn't have control of herself, right?
It reminded me of season 1 when Dorothy had the breakdown, the mental breakdown when Jericho was in the crib. So, season 1, Jericho. The next scene, we hear a new name.
Yeah, new name. Now, this name isn't even in the cast because I checked, because we've been calling this one young man the leader, right? The leader of the homeless kids. But,
right.
You know, the girl with the shaved head and the cancer tattoo brings Leanne a piece of clothing and says, "We can't find Milo." Right? He's missing, and we found this out front. If you look at the piece of clothing, it is the sweater that the kid we were calling the leader was wearing. And we'll show a picture of that. But, you know, what happened to this kid? And we see earlier, too, that Leanne went out for a run, and she hooked up with Roscoe for a second, and then went to the encampment, and Leanne went into a tent, and we don't know what was going on. So
you found out somebody else's name too.
Yeah, Snake was in there. That's the one young lady that usually hangs out with the girl with the shaved head. She's the one with the long blonde hair.
Okay, the one that gave her the necklace.
The one that gave her the necklace.
Okay.
Yes, that's Snake.
Okay.
Apparently.
Okay.
I think she has a snake tattoo.
Okay.
That's why.
As the psychologist is leaving, Frank comes by.
Yeah,
Dorothy's
conveniently.
dad, for a little chat.
If y'all didn't notice, the doctor texts somebody on the way out. And it went zoop. Yep. And he put it away. And Dorothy kind of looked like, what? And then all of a sudden, Frank tacked on her. So I think he texted, we're on our way out.
Yeah. So we're like, go, Frank. It's your birthday.
Because I knew what Frank was doing here. And I was like, yes.
Yeah. I loved it when Frank said, Dorothy, not Dorothy, but I think he said it to Sean, because Sean was arguing with him, like, well, what are you doing? You don't, and he's like, we all know what happened before.
Right. This is the where the bomb dropped, and it felt so good because we knew this was going to happen. Now, I think we all of us in the servant community expected to be a little more dramatic, like maybe they drug Dorothy off to the hospital, or they took Leanne out, and the baby turned into, scary Jerry. But it didn't,
Yeah.
But all this time, if you think about it, Dorothy's been trying to gaslight Leanne, right? Like, oh, she has a problem and blah, 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 blah. But everyone can see Dorothy's the one with the problem. She's not sleeping. She's not letting anybody touch Jericho. She's just being crazy.
Right.
And Frank jumped in. Made it
Yes. And they prescribed her trazodone.
Trazodone.
What is that?
It's a antidepressant and a what do you call it? It helps you sleep.
Okay. You said they even prescribe it for dogs, right?
They do prescribe it for dogs.
Interesting.
In certain ways. Most antipsychotic, antidepressants, and things they use for mental health actually have many different purposes. So you'll notice that
Interesting.
a lot. Pharmacology.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You can do this, but I can't. But did you?
I'm sorry, psychopharmacology.
What did you say?
I don't know.
Oh,
that's what I was trying to say.
Oh my! But I noticed I can't swallow pills with no water.
Oh, I do it all the time. Yeah, no problem. Dorothy just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
She looked very defeated there too.
She did.
But it's funny is we heard Dorothy singing "Hush, Little Baby, Don't You Cry, Mama's Gonna Whatever" to Jericho.
Yeah.
And now after Dorothy kind of gets called out in front of everybody and she knows she's defeated, Leanne, after taking Jericho, starts singing it in her face. I think she's punishing her there.
I think so too. I agree.
Because you think about Leanne, I was hoping they were going to take Dorothy's ass to.
Yeah, me too.
But it's okay.
Too.
It's okay.
Yeah,
but Leanne
too.
swooped in and saved her from the situation. Again, cult.
She said, she's a good mother.
Cult leader stuff. Yeah,
we can help her here at the house.
All that she was saying was for Dorothy too.
Right.
Trying to get her back in the fold. Right.
Right. Yeah. And they wrap up the episode with Dorothy.
She just crumbled in the bathroom.
Right. Yeah. We see Dorothy on the ground. Like you said,
with her little
she's defeated. She's got
carrier.
Yeah, her baby carrier. And if you guys like that baby carrier, you can buy that actual baby carrier at babytula.com.
Okay. A sing in your face, Dorothy. I was so happy when she was singing that song.
Yes.
Like,
Dorothy is beside herself. Finale is called Mama. And it looks like...
It says Dorothy is out to make a desperate final plan.
Right. It looks like she's out there with the homeless kids.
Yeah, it did see like she was out there with them. I wonder what she's gonna try this time.
Yeah. I noticed also a lot of colors in this episode. So guys, let us know what you think these colors mean. There's red, there's blues.
So many, it's like hard to figure out, right?
But we love to hear you guys' comments. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, that last episode, so many comments, and we were having so much fun talking to you guys. So
yeah.
Keep it up. It really is fun for us because we love the show.
Yeah, we really do love the show. And let us know if you like to see the dollhouse.
Yeah, it was a lot of work, believe me.
We're still working on it, but it was a lot of work. Have a very good night. Nice weekend.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.